What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly lay reverse rants, no hate. So, first off, let me say salute to Lomachenko and Ortiz for bringing what they had last night. Now, let me just say that fight was very, very close. Very, very close. You never know how the judges are scoring the fight. I really, at the end of that fight, was thinking, damn, did Lomachenko do enough to win? Because Jermaine Ortiz was outlanding him. He a lot of those early rounds to the mid, like I saw him winning rounds, and I'm feeling like, damn, what Lomachenko does, his style is when he rushes in and he'll like rush in and throw those rapid shots. A lot of those shots wasn't landing, but his hands are moving. And even when he's in and out, he's constantly moving. So it's like he's working, but how many of those shots were actually landing? I don't have to watch it two, three, four times to like get a different feel. I'm watching. I'm just like, I'm thinking, you know what? In a close fight, I know they want to make the Devin Haney versus Lomachenko fight. So in a close fight, even if they felt in their hearts that Jermaine Ortiz edged him, they're not going to give Jermaine Ortiz the win, because nobody's clamoring for Jermaine Ortiz versus Devin Haney. But a win is a win as long as it's legit. I don't feel like you should favor a guy because he is the favorite. Now, I'm not really feeling like, oh, it was a robbery because Lomachenko got the win. Jermaine Ortiz, his punch output started to lessen as they went on. And he was more 1-2, throwing sneaky shots in, body shots. He was doing what he was fighting. And Lomachenko's output had kind of lessened as well, but it was times where he got busier. And I'm watching, but I'm really not impressed by anything. I'm not watching this fight like, oh, this is a great fight. I'm watching like they're busy, they're throwing shots. But it was just one of those weird things where like their hands are moving so fast, especially Lomachenko, that it's just like he's trying to land something, and even the shots that did get in, if you throw 4 or 5 shots and land one, okay, you can't score points for all 4 or 5 shots. You got to score the ones that land. And this is what I'm saying. I saw him throwing a lot of shots, but I saw a lot of those shots miss. So he's moving, he's working, and I'm like, okay, I'm just looking at what I'm seeing, and I'm just going along. I'm scoring as I'm going. I'm watching it, but it's like, okay, a lot of those rounds, man, I'm like, I think Jermaine took that one. But again, because it's close, I don't know how the judges are scoring. Okay. Unanimous decision is bullshit. There was no unanimous decision. Split decision at best. Split decision. That fight was that close. So it's like, I couldn't feel like, oh no, Loma definitely, he got destroyed. No, it was no dominant performance by either guy. And it was just like, is Loma doing enough because he's throwing combinations, but he's only landing like one shot. Sometimes he's not getting anything in. On the other hand, Ortiz is slowing down to where he's, pop shot, and he's throwing one shot at a time sometimes. And I think he should have stayed in the southpaw stance, or at least switched up here and there enough to, because he was having success with that against Loma. Okay. Either way, I don't fault the fighters for the decision. Lomachenko got the win. I'm not mad at that. I'm not, whatever. It is what it is. Unanimous decision, no. So when people say it's a robbery because it was unanimous decision, yeah, I agree with that. There was no unanimous decision. None. And honestly, I felt like Jermaine Ortiz actually was landing the more significant shots. And I'm like, but again, close fight. Lomachenko's the favorite to win. Okay, but it is what it is. Now, let me point out some things. This is not about Lomachenko. This is about the Lomachenko supporters, the fanboys. Okay, not so much the support, but the fanboy, the liars. Let's put it like this. This is about the liars and the people that's delusional. First off, there was no way he won a unanimous decision. No way that was a unanimous decision. No, no way. Like I said, split decision at best for either guy. Split. These liars completely discredit and disrespect other fighters in the process of praising Lomachenko. I'll give you a perfect example. Do you realize last night they did not show one clip of Jermaine Ortiz landing his shots on Lomachenko? They only showed what Loma was landing against Ortiz. Did y'all not pay attention to that? Did y'all not listen to the commentary where everything Lomachenko does, they're speaking as if we're not seeing what's actually really happening in the ring? They were showing favoritism to Lomachenko the whole night. I'm saying, okay, this is nothing new. And this has been something throughout his whole career. I mean, let's not forget, I've actually seen Lomachenko come to the ring and they put up his record as undefeated when he already had a loss on his record. And I'm like, stop, man, stop. They were even trying to erase the loss on his record. And this is facts. And it wasn't no mistake that they announced him as undefeated when he already had a loss on his record. When he fought Rigondeaux, that was December 9th, I think, of 2017. Rigondeaux was 37 years old. Lomachenko was 29. You want to know what you never heard come out of anybody's mouth about Rigondeaux? That he was old. He quit and gave up in that fight, yeah. He definitely did. I think it was the 6th round. He definitely quit and gave up. They talked about how Lomachenko is just a punishing guy. He just doesn't let you breathe. He's on you. Listen, Lomachenko is a hell of a fighter. As I said, though, this is about the liars. It's funny now because Loma's, 34 now? And all of a sudden I'm hearing, oh, Loma's getting old, ring rust, oh, the war. Stop with that bullshit. Stop with that bullshit. When you spar, we just heard Deontay Wilder talk about how he sparred 600-something rounds. See, when you get rid of a guy early, nobody questions what you did or how you looked. It's funny because even in Loma's last fight, everybody said Loma's back. He's the same Loma. But now all of a sudden, oh, well, how was the war? How did that affect you? You know, you were gone and, you know, you have a lot of seeing what your people are going through and this and this. And, you know, you have a lot of people here support you and this and this and this and that. Yeah, okay, that's all good. But you said you were ready. This is a fight. When you spar, what the fuck do you think you're preparing for? How many times have we heard fighters say, and I know this, the fight's the easy part. The training is the hard part. What do you think all the sparring is doing? So what fucking ring rust? Where's the ring rust? No, the ring rust is when you're not that active in your training camp and then you all of a sudden get up and bam, now you're burning weight. You spend more time burning weight than anything else. Working on the techniques and all this stuff that you may have not really been able to, okay, because you've allowed yourself to not be in the best shape that you should be in, and it's more about getting the weight down, more so than the technique. But you're in here training. This is a sparring partner on top of that, so he knows a sparring partner, right? The sparring partner knows him. Instead of people just saying, no, Lomachenko was just in a tough fight against a guy who was not well known, but a good fighter. Simple. No. Excuses. Ring rust. Oh, it's because of the war. It's good. Stop it. Stop it. You know, man, you're trying to focus and then you have these graphic images in your head of what you saw your people going through. And, man, listen, everybody can have a tragic story. You have people that went through things that you don't even know about until after they retired. Then you might hear about these stories and things that they faced. I'm not trying to handle ring rust bullshit. I believe he was just able to fight that was good, that just is not that well known, and people expected Lomachenko to smoke him out his boots, and it didn't happen. So now when it doesn't happen, it's ring rust. It's the war. Okay, he's distracted. They're already setting up. Matter of fact, they're already setting up for an excuse. And I'm going to show you how. You see, Paulie Malignaggi was running his mouth about Devin And then I heard a video. I watched the video with him and Bill Haney talking. It kind of started out kind of bumpy in the beginning, but they smoothed it out. And I watched Paulie sit there and eat his words. I watched Paulie sit there and try to completely change the narrative. You know, because Bill don't give a fuck. Bill check people. And they wind up smoothing it out. Okay, cool. But let me just tell you something. You see this whole narrative about Devin Haney is going to try to use the weight as an excuse to duck Lomachenko when he's been trying to fight Lomachenko forever, right? You know what's so funny? The size difference between Loma and Haney was never a fucking secret to me. So it's so funny to me that when Loma is standing there and Dev gets in the ring, oh, he's a big boy. This guy's a heavyweight. And now all of a sudden, I'm hearing people talking, oh, he need to be trying to say that same energy for Shakur Stevenson. First of all, this ain't about Shakur Stevenson. Secondly, that's the stupid comment, seeing as how Shakur is still fighting at 130. Okay, he's fighting at 130, so is Devin going to go down to 130 and fight him? No. It's when Shakur decides to come to 135, right? Simple. If Devin is still there. You know why you bring up Shakur's name? Because you feel confident that Shakur has the better chance of beating him. Everybody's talking about, oh man, he's trying to fight Loma because Loma's so small. Wait, ain't this the fight y'all wanted? So now what happens is y'all saw that performance against Jermaine Ortiz, and y'all realizing deep down inside, damn, I don't think he could beat Devin Haney. So now you're bringing up Shakur Stevenson name. You're bringing up, how dare you bring up Ryan Garcia, who ducked him just like Lomachenko did. Okay? And here's the funny thing about that story. Ryan Garcia was the mandatory for Devin Haney, and he opted out to have a so-called fantasy exhibition against Manny Pacquiao that never happened. Well, guess what? Devin Haney. You know who Lomachenko's mandatory was? Devin Haney. And what did he do? Gave up his title to become franchise champion. And what was the bigger fish he was trying to fry? Who? Because when he fought Teofimo Lopez, let's not get it twisted, this was not looked at as a super fight. I clearly remember people saying, Teofimo's good, but I don't think the kid's ready for Loma. Loma's just on a whole different stratosphere. Loma this, Loma that, Loma this, Loma that. All of a sudden, Loma gets beat. Oh, he was injured. He wasn't the same. It was his shoulder. It was this. It was that. Same thing when Teofimo got his ass whooped by Kambosos. It was always some excuse. But what's funny is they was calling Lomachenko undisputed when he was never undisputed. He was not undisputed. Devin had the title that he needed to become undisputed. All of a sudden, he gets beat by Teofimo. Now, Teofimo is all of a sudden undisputed. No. Devin Haney still has that title. When Devin Haney beats George Kambosos, because, oh yeah, let's not forget, they called Kambosos undisputed. No, he's not undisputed. But as soon as Dev beats him and gets all the belts, oh, it's not all about belts. You know, belts don't really mean, oh, now you want to downplay the belts. You know what's so funny? I've heard many people say, no disrespect to Alexander Usyk, but he is a champion. But listen, let's be real. Tyson Fury has the green belt. He's the WBC champion. He is the champion. Wait, he's the champion? He's the champion with one belt? Well then, what the fuck is the purpose of fighting for undisputed? Because if you say it like that, what you're saying is, no, he's the guy. These other guys just got some fancy belts that they carry around, but they don't mean anything. But yet, he's the guy. But Devin Haney holding the WBC title didn't mean nothing. Nope, Lomachenko was undisputed. Nope, Teofimo was undisputed. Nope, George Kambosos was undisputed. But somehow, Usyk is just a title holder, but he's not the champion. Fury is, because he has the WBC. Man, bullshit. Whether Fury beats Usyk or not, that's not even the point. The point of who's holding what, Bullshit. Bullshit. Well, the disrespect that I see them show other guys. Example, like I said, they didn't even show one video clip of Jermaine Ortiz landing his shots. They just showed everything about Lomachenko landing his shots on Ortiz. As if we didn't just sit here and watch a very close, I mean, like this close of a fight. Like I said, either guy who would have got the decision split, I would have been like, I mean, it was that close. That fight was really that close. But unanimous, no. Now, let me show you how people show favoritism as well. And if you guys who missed this, look at Devin Haney versus George Kambosos, right? In the rematch, Tim Bradley brought up how Devin Haney clinched 50-something times, 58 or 53, whatever it was, sometimes in the first fight. He's saying George Kambosos is going to have to find a way to prevent Devin Haney from clinching, right? From the first and second fight, do you know how many of those clinches that George Kambosos initiated? But somehow, they just said Devin Haney was clinching. They even showed how many times he clinched in the rematch. They never showed one time how many times George Kambosos initiated clinching. He was the one initiating a whole lot of those clinches. See, when you come in and rush in and throw a shot and dump your head down, you know automatically a guy's going to clinch and grab your head. Okay? And at the end of the day, just saying, you're showing a graph for one fighter but not the other. You showed Lomachenko landing his shots, but you did not show any of Ortiz landing his shots. And you basically just spoke and talked as if Lomachenko just went in and dominated. And it's like, nah, bro, that wasn't a unanimous decision. Now, I like Lomachenko as a fighter, but let me just tell y'all, like I said, the whole, oh, look how big Dev is. Oh, now he's picking on Lomachenko, right? Okay, let me tell you guys something. Shakur Stevenson got the same criticism for fighting against Oscar Valdez after the majority of people said that Oscar Valdez was going to beat, Shakur Stevenson. No different from people calling Errol Spence a weight bully. Then all of a sudden now, after seeing Haney and Loma in the ring together, all of a sudden now, somehow, like I said, Devin's picking on little Lomachenko. He said he's ready to fight. He's ready for any division, for anybody, whatever. Let me tell you guys something. Stop bringing up 126 and 130. That was a long time ago. He's been at 135 for a while now. When he was holding the belts, nobody was saying anything. But now when he loses, let me tell you something. Lomachenko is always going to have trouble with somebody that knows how to control distance and that can actually box. The only way that a pure boxer won't really give him trouble is if that pure boxer just has average hand speed. You don't have to be the biggest puncher. If you have hand speed, you actually can box. You have a strong ring IQ, and you can control distance, and you know how to use your jab and work. Okay? Loma's going to have issues. See, he's 2 inches taller than Rigondeaux. But nobody complained about size and nothing, like I said. And nobody called Rigondeaux old at 37. But now all of a sudden they're making excuses already for Lomachenko. Why? Here's the truth. And I'm going to say what these motherfuckers are scared to say. People are scared that Devin Haney's going to beat the brakes off of Lomachenko. That he's going to completely outclass him just like he did George Kambosos. And for anybody to say, yeah, but Kambosos is not Lomachenko. You damn right he's not. Neither is Teofimo. They're all different people. And you know what they all got in common? You know what they all got in common? Teofimo wasn't supposed to be Lomachenko. Kambosos wasn't supposed to be Teofimo. Simple. And guess what? A lot of y'all got to the point y'all didn't think Devin Haney was going to beat Kambosos. And the one guy that you guys said was the weakest out of all of them happens to be undisputed. And they're sitting here now trying to put Tank versus Ryan Garcia together, but at the same time, they're not even fighting for a belt. Because that belt that Tank has, this is what's so funny. They call it a tinker toy. So why are we even talking about Ryan versus Tank in terms of a title shot, right? No. Those little extra belts don't mean nothing, right? So why does it mean anything now? Oh, I see. Because now Devin has the belts instead of Teofimo or George Kambosos or Lomachenko. Doesn't make a difference. At the end of the day, we all want to see the better fights. So you'll never hear Aries talking about, oh, I don't want to see Shakur fight Haney or Tank. No, that's what we want to see. I believe if this fight does happen, and I think the only way it doesn't happen is if Lomachenko don't take it. If this fight happens, what I believe happens is Devin Haney beats Lomachenko, then he probably goes to 140 after that. Look, I beat the guy. Don't bring up Tank or Ryan or any of them afterwards, because they all had plenty of opportunities to fight with Devin Haney. So don't try to say, like Paulie's doing, trying to say that, oh, he's going to use the weight as an excuse to go up to 140. You guys see how big he is, right? Okay, so my whole thing is, when he goes, after he beats Lomachenko, he goes to 140. For all of the people, all the hypocrites that start saying, oh, but he didn't fight this guy, and this. Well, how could he fight Ryan when Ryan is the one who ran from him? Facts. He turned the fight down. Javier Fortuna even turned the fight down with Devin Haney. Teofimo, all of these guys. You saw Devin Haney chasing these guys. None of them wanted to fight. Don't bring their fucking names up. When Teofimo went to 140, excuse me, y'all didn't say he ran from nobody, right? He just outgrew the division. And now here he is getting ready to fight a guy that Tank already beat. And you know what's so funny? When Tank fought that guy, you know what y'all said? Oh, man, Tank got to fight some better competition, man. Pedraza ain't even that good. But now you know what y'all saying? Oh, Teofimo and Pedraza, that's going to be a good fight. Oh, really? Streaky ass Pedraza, right? Oh, now all of a sudden he's a great fighter because he's fighting Teofimo. And see, y'all don't want to be able to take credit away from Teofimo should he win, right? But yet when Tank fought him, Tank got to fight better competition. Oh, these are facts. You can go right in my own archives on my channel and you can see the comments that people putting up there. When Tank fought Isaac Pitbull Cruz, oh man, he gonna fight this dude ain't shit. Oh, he ain't this, he ain't that. After the fight, yo, I mean, you know, man, he couldn't even knock this guy out. Oh, you know what's so funny? Pitbull Cruz fought, what, twice since then? And guess what? All you see in comment sections and hear people talk about is Pitbull is a beast. Yo, he's a monster. Ain't he amongst the elite right now? Oh, yes. Oh, what? He just got way better all of a sudden since he fought Tank? Y'all said the same shit about Jojo Diaz, right? Jojo Diaz, oh, when Haney beat him, oh, man, he fighting this C-level. Oh, Jojo Diaz is C-level? He just fought against, what's the dude name? William, I forget his name. But y'all saw the fight. Forget his damn name. But anyway, what y'all say? See, him versus Haney was a mismatch. Because, see, it's no, what you mean is a mismatch? You can't just say Devin Haney was just better than Jojo Diaz. So now, all of a sudden, what are y'all saying? Yo, Jojo Diaz is a beast, yo. He just came up with somebody that had the same style as him, and he was able to edge him. Oh, that's what it was. So now, all of a sudden, Jojo Diaz is a beast. He's a monster. But when he fought Devin Haney, he wasn't shit. Pitbull Cruz wasn't shit when he fought Tank Davis. But now, all of a sudden, he's a beast. He's a monster. These are facts of the things that come out of people's mouths. And I know where it comes from and why. But at the end of the day, it's just like, yeah, keep on talking and making no sense like you always do. At the end of the goddamn day, if you want to see the best fight the best, and there may be someone who you're not really familiar with, you have two good eyes to see that certain fighters, popularity doesn't necessarily make you the best fighter, okay? But when you sit and shoot a guy down, but then all of a sudden he fights someone else, and now he's a monster, he's a beast. No, the truth is, Isaac Pitbull Cruz, he was a tough guy and a good fighter when he fought Tank. Jojo Diaz was a tough guy and a good fighter when he fought Haney. But see, you didn't want to give Tank or Haney their credit. And that's why you shot them down. But now all of a sudden they're monsters among men. Okay. And even in a loss, you're saluting Jojo Diaz, right? Yeah, if a guy comes and fight his ass off, even if he comes up short, guess what? You give him his props because guess what? He went in there and he brought what he had, right? Come on. So me seeing that, I already see the excuses. And that's just what it is. These people don't want to admit it, but they feel deep down inside, man, ain't he gonna beat the shit out of Lomachenko? Let's start making excuses now. Oh, he's old. Oh, you know, Devin's a weight bully. He's too big. He should be fighting Shakur, which sounds so stupid. He should be fighting a guy that's still fighting at 130. Shakur comes with the 135, so be it. See, this is about legacy. And this is the type of shit where, like, for example, we just seen Triple G fight against Canelo. They said it was a great fight. Both guys brought it. You know, Canelo won the fight clearly on this night. But you know what? Even at 41 years old, Triple G is still a durable guy. He's still one of the pound-for-pound best. He still holds 3 belts at 160. Guarantee you, Jamar Charlo to annihilate his ass. You know what y'all gonna say? Oh, Triple G was old. Oh, but a few months ago when he fought Canelo, he wasn't old all of a sudden. Right? Just like Floyd wasn't old when he was about to turn 37, fighting against Canelo at 23. Just like Rigondeaux wasn't old at 37, fighting a 29-year-old Lomachenko. But this is the type of shit that I see, and I'm just like, yeah, okay. Instead of, like I said, instead of just saying, hey, look, man, Lomachenko, tip your hat to you and to Ortiz, because that was a, you know, you guys, it was a tooth and nail. It was just that close, you know, good fight. And, you know, simple, just move on from there and then ask your questions or do whatever. But no, this was let's try to tell these people, let's use the Jedi mind tricks and let them know. You didn't just see a close fight. You just saw complete domination by Lomachenko. And, you know, I don't care about predictions. I know what I think. And I'll say, listen, I will never be afraid to be wrong. And I'll say this right here, right now. And I've said this last year. Okay, 2 years ago. I believe, just like I said, I was the one. Let's not forget, I was the one who said Teofimo beats Lomachenko. I don't give a fuck about what Max Kellerman say, or what Teddy Atlas say, or what Roy Jones, and I don't care what they say. I'm not on a bandwagon. I don't say things based on what I think they're going to say, or what the popular answer is. I said Teofimo beats Lomachenko, and he beat him. And he's only 23 years old. Unlike how Canelo, who was only 23 when he fought Floyd. Oh, well, he was just a baby. Floyd was too expensive. Oh, okay, I know. But yet, y'all are the ones who started saying, trying to compare Lomachenko to Floyd. He ain't done half of what the fuck Floyd has done, but y'all started comparing them. But it's funny, when he got his ass whipped by Teofimo, then what? What was the excuse? Oh, yeah, see, his shoulder, he took a picture. I don't care about I don't care about the picture. And then Teofimo did the same whack-ass move when he got his ass whooped, doing backflips and all. You a dude talking about you almost died in the ring, and stop it. Stop. You ain't almost died. You just got your ass whooped by a guy that just was better than you on that night. And you didn't even want a rematch. And you went to 140. Nobody criticized him for that. What happened to the Josh Taylor fight? And I guess, you know, even now, with Josh Taylor then gave up some of his belts. But at the end of the day, listen, understand something. Here's a man who comes in the ring. He's ready to fight. He's been trying to fight everybody. And because of ignorance, people just pretty much went against him in terms of what his purpose was. And he's now the undisputed champion. At 135, they have, listen at this, and Bill Haney said they didn't request franchise. They didn't ask for anything, right? They have it in their possession, but they don't exercise what it stands for. But they just have it. And Bill feels like it's best that they have it. Now, why? Because for someone else to have it, it's just going to give them the opportunity to duck the fighters that they should be fighting. And I said, kudos to you for that, Bill, because you know what? That's all it is a fucking duck belt. That's all it is. That's all it is. Well, all that being said, I believe Devin Haney, and I said this back to my point, and like I said, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I doubt it though. I believe Devin Haney beats Lomachenko. And I've been said that shit. I strongly believe Devin Haney is just, he's too good at what he does. Regardless to what people try to make you believe, Devin Haney is used to fighting punches. See, the great thing about Lomachenko is he's never had one particular thing he relied on. He's always been an all-around good boxer. So it's not like he got crazy power. He just knocked you out one punch and he just... No, it's volume. It's accumulation. It's his ring IQ. He uses everything. So does Devin Haney. And Devin Haney's used to fighting guys that can punch as well. So he never had one particular thing he relied on. So even for the people that's trying to say, oh, Shakur Stevenson will beat Devin Haney, maybe, maybe not. That has nothing to do with him and Lomachenko. That has nothing to do with Shakur Stevenson and Lomachenko. Which, by the way, Shakur Stevenson made a tweet that said, man, I think Loma about to mess up the money, man. He messing up the money. You know why he was saying that? Because he had Lomachenko behind in that fight as well. Regardless, I think Shakur Stevenson beats the brakes off of Lomachenko. You know what people just don't understand? There's just certain styles that certain guys, they can't handle. Lomachenko, Pacquiao does that a lot with how he'll throw off weird angles. You know how he like to throw that body shot with the left and then come up to the top, then he comes up top with the right out of nowhere, and then, you know, he'll step to his right, slide, bam, over there. Beautiful. But when they get in there with a boxer with a high boxing IQ, that can, it's like they can't get that shit off. That shit gets nullified. And you're trying to process it. How come he can't hit this guy with that? Or how come, but something got to be wrong with him. Yeah, it's because the other motherfucker is just too good. He's not falling for that shit. He knows how to neutralize it when other fighters don't. And that's what you, in my opinion, are going to see should Lomachenko fight Devin Haney. And I can give a fuck about you guys talking about the size difference. I don't care. I don't want to hear about his age. I don't want to hear nothing about the war. I don't care about none of that. Muhammad Ali went through a lot of shit. And you want to know what? You don't hear me use the term greatest of all times. I really don't believe in all that shit. Because like I said, it's always going to be subjective to other people because of different eras of time or whatever. I know my thing is this. I don't feel like there's one heavyweight that Ali wouldn't have been able to figure out. It has nothing to do with his stance for being against the war, not going for it. Has nothing to do with the racism he faced. It has nothing to do with any of that shit. It's just from bell to bell. His capabilities in the ring. That's all I go by. I don't care about all that extra shit. So all the other stuff surrounding Lomachenko right now with the war and everything and all, stop making excuses. Stop sitting up there rubbing his hand like he's a baby trying to, no. He's a fucking man. He's a warrior. He's a gladiator. He went in the ring. He had a tough fight. He got the decision. And that's all it is. And see, to me, I could sit there and enjoy and respect the fight more for that than to sit up here like, it's like you guys watch fights and you're sitting up there trying to find fault to the point you're not even enjoying the fight. All you're doing is looking to be critics. But at the end of the day, you get influenced by the things that people are saying versus what you actually see. And when I watched Teofimo fight, I watched his style overall, and I'm like, yeah, I think he beats Lomachenko. So, because I'm not sold on Lomachenko being, he's unbeatable. No, I'm not. I never was. And at the end of the day, as good as Lomachenko is, well, when he lost to Teofimo, now, if Teofimo would have beaten George Kambosos, you heard what Teofimo said out of his own mouth. DAZN already knew what I was going to do. I was about to drop the belt. So even if he'd have won, he still wouldn't have fought Devin Haney. Y'all still would have blamed Devin Haney for the fight not happening? Well, how many times did you see him and Bill chasing down Teofimo to make this fight? Getting up in his face. Right? Man, I'm getting tired of this guy. Well, show me you tired of me. Show me you tired and fight me. And he admitted he never was going to fight Lomachenko in the rematch. How many times do we have to go through this? But now, Lomachenko came back. This is his second fight since his loss. And, he looked good in the first fight. I don't think he looked bad last night. And a lot of people were saying, oh, he looked terrible. No, I don't think he looked bad. I just think that, like I said, his opponent was better than people knew. So it's not about criticizing Lomachenko. But like I said, the liars, the fanboys who make up these lies and these delusional fucking scorecards and trying to go along with whatever narratives that favor Lomachenko. At the end of the day, you got to get in the ring and fight. Your fans can't fight for you. Your trainer, nobody. Max Kellerman, these dudes can't fight for you. Teddy Atlas, none of them. Only thing they can do is sing your praises. So, yeah, because I'm like, Paulie want to make a fucking bet? I'll bet money with anybody on that. I'm betting Devin Haney is going to box the shit out of Lomachenko. And you know what Lomachenko don't have? He don't have crazy power. And that's going to be another thing that's going to go against him, against Devin Haney. Because Devin Haney can take a punch. And Devin Haney is not afraid to fight when he needs to sit down and fight with you. So, but at the same time, he can fucking box. And that reach, that range, he knows how to use it. He knows how to use it. So let's stop with the side shit. Because you got a lot of fighters who are way taller than another guy and still get their ass whooped. I mean, we seen Chris Algieri get torn apart by Pacquiao. We saw Diego Corrales get torn the fuck apart by Floyd Mayweather. Fight y'all never want to talk about too. We've seen it happen many times. I mean, we've seen Tony Tucker. We've seen these big, tall, 6'3", 6'4" motherfuckers fight against a 5'11", 5'10" Mike Tyson and get out-jabbed and out-boxed by a guy with a way shorter reach and everything. So let's not act like just because you're taller and heavier than someone that you automatically going to win. Doesn't work like that. I mean, wasn't Hearns way taller than Marvin Hagler? Way taller than Sugar Ray? Okay. Well, put all those little intangibles aside, all these excuses. If Lomachenko was the champ right now, just like when he was the champ, nobody was making excuses about their size. The same size advantage that Devin Haney has now, he had then. In terms of weight, they're all cutting weight to stay at a certain weight. Of course, the younger you are, your body's more natural at a certain weight. Stop trying to be all scientific. It doesn't make a fucking difference. Because the same weight that he's at now, he was champion at that weight. Okay, so let's stop making excuses. Oh, well, the thing is, at 126 and 130, he was better because he's naturally more that weight. No, stop that shit. He had size advantages against people when he fought at the smaller weights, just like people got size advantages against him now. But skills pay the fucking bills. So it doesn't make a difference if somebody's bigger than you or not. If you are a better fighter, it will show in the fucking fight. Simple. And y'all the ones saying Devin Haney has no power, right? Okay, well then, does Lomachenko got to worry about heavyweight power? No, just the fact that the guy is naturally bigger. Everybody said, and they know this, Devin Haney's face looks fucking skeletal to make that 135. So, yeah, at some point, he's going to have to go to 140. When he goes to 140, the way I see it, whenever Shakur Stevenson decides to come to 135, he'll probably be, Tank is still there, Ryan is there. I think Shakur beats Pitbull Cruz. I think he beats all those other guys. I think he beats Ryan. I'm not sure about Tank. We'll see. Maybe we'll see. Who knows? But bottom line is, I don't think Shakur Stevenson is going to stop at 135. I think eventually at some point he'll end up going to 140 as well. Now for Tank, because of his height, Tank is short. Tank is probably better suited at 135. Because the more you go up in weight and the smaller you are, it's just tougher. The same way. Imagine Pitbull Cruz going to 140. Imagine Jojo Diaz going to 140. So when it gets to the point where your body starts to outgrow a certain weight class, truthfully, it might just be better to retire for some fighters. Because when you go up in weight, and you might be a good puncher at one weight, but you go up and now it's like these guys that you normally was knocking out. Now all of a sudden these guys are taking your shots because they're naturally much bigger. Let's just look at it for what it is, okay? Nothing against these fighters, man. Just because, look, like I said, Lomachenko is a great fucking fighter. But so is Dev. So is Teofimo. So is Ryan. Nah. Ryan is flashy. I'm not going to say he's great. He's flashy. He's flashy. He has potential to be great. At least it seems like it. Okay. He's flashy. He has speed and he has power. Tank is great. Okay? Loma's great. Pitbull Cruz is good. Jojo Diaz is good. Okay? Simple. But when you get to the point where you start making up excuses for guys, I don't know what you think. I mean, how that makes you feel good, or you think you're making a point, but no. You can't, just the same way how a couple of weeks ago, people was making excuses, talk about Savannah Marshall, if she had 3-minute rounds, she'd have beat Shields. Like, we all come up with this dumb shit, man. Like I said in that video, every reason that you thought Savannah Marshall would beat Clarissa Shields came within 2-minute rounds. The same 3 minutes she got, the same Clarissa will have. The same 2 minutes that they actually have, the same 2 minutes Clarissa has. Then y'all start bringing up Katie Taylor. Oh, well, I think pound for pound. Well, Katie Taylor's the real GOAT. Y'all never used the term GOAT in your whole fucking life. Shut the fuck up. It's just after Clarissa Shields started coining that shit, and all of a sudden now, well, Katie Taylor's the real GOAT. Right, because you know Katie Taylor will never fight Clarissa Shields. Too small. And you want to know what? If they had a catch weight, they both could be comfortable. After Clarissa Shields beat the fuck out of Katie Taylor, oh, she was too small. So shut up with all that bullshit. Always trying to find somebody to be better than somebody who actually is just that good. Katie Taylor's a hell of a fighter. But at the same time, her and Amanda Serrano, how many people you heard say they think Serrano really won? They think that she got robbed. Okay, so controversy, all that other shit, where, like I said, when it comes to your favorites, all of a sudden, no, they can do no wrong, and you overlook shit. I'm not focused on Katie Taylor versus Clarissa Shields. It's a stupid idea, because I don't think it's healthy for either fighter. One has to gain too much weight, one has to lose too much weight. So what does it gain? But again, when the bigger woman beats the fuck out of her little ass, no different from Layla Ali and Christy Martin. You don't know how many times I'm sitting at work and them damn country boys in the day, I tell you, Buck, Layla Ali living off her dad's name. That Christy Martin, call my daughter, she'll put it on her. I'll tell you right there. And I'm sitting there, man, shut your country ass up. You just running your mouth. Soon as Layla beat that ass, oh, she was just, oh, shut up. Because you wasn't saying none of that shit before that. You know the height difference, the weight difference before the fight happens. But you overlook the skills and you look at what somebody did to another opponent. Oh, because she did it to her. Who the fuck is Mia St. John compared to Layla? Oh, well, Mia St. John, she kind of fight like this. She don't fight shit like no goddamn Layla. Just, like, stop it. Just, and you know what? She's Mia St. John. Layla Ali is Layla Ali. It wasn't about taking credit away from Christy Martin. It was about the fact, like I said, these fucking fanboy idiots love to just say stupid shit. But then, and listen, your opinion is your opinion. But the thing is, it's a difference when you make opinions off the talent you see versus in here, and here. I want that person to win, so I'm going to say everything in their favor. Doesn't make a difference. Doesn't make a fucking difference what you want. So, listening to all of this shit that I heard and watching what I saw with my own 2 eyes, I felt like I said, it was a very close fight. I like Lomachenko as a fighter. I think he brings excitement to the ring when he fight. But there's times, like I said, he's one of the fighters that I wish the commentators would just shut up. Because it's like we're watching 2 different fights, listening to the shit that they say. And watching the favoritism. And watching people sit here and act like they don't see what's really going on. Well, this guy, Jermaine Ortiz, hopefully he gets recognition from his showing against Lomachenko. The worst thing that can happen for him is that he goes into a fight with someone next and lose. So hopefully that you have another addition to the 135 division. And mind you, he only got 16 fights. He's 26 years old. You know, he's not that experienced yet, but he showed a lot of poise. He showed some good skills. So we'll see what happens with him. You know, maybe he might wind up being a force to be reckoned with. But the way he was treated, by them not showing any of his highlights and just showing all of what Lomachenko did, and if people say, yeah, because they trying to build up, yeah, okay, you don't have to lie and falsify shit to try to build up another fight. It doesn't matter what he did against Jermaine Ortiz. That's not Devin Haney. If Jermaine Ortiz had the kind of success that he had against Lomachenko, what the fuck y'all think Devin Haney lied? What you think that Ortiz is better than than Devin Haney? I mean, like I said, I'm the only one that's not saying he looked like shit. That he didn't like shit. All these other channels are saying he looked like shit. I don't think he looked like shit. I think he did what he had to do, and I think, like I said, his opponent was just underrated because he's not that well known, and it was his sparring partner. So I believe that fight was picked because 16-0, nobody knows him. You understand what I'm saying? My sparring partner, I'll beat him, look good, and it just didn't go that way. Because there's anybody else he could have picked, right? Well, again, we're not going to go by the war. I'm not want to hear nothing about no war. I don't want to hear nothing about no weight difference. I don't want to hear nothing about no height difference. I don't want to hear nothing about no ring rust. I don't want to hear nothing about Lomachenko's old. I don't want to hear none of that. Don't bring it to me. Take that shit somewhere else. He did what he had to do. And I think he did, he brought what he had. Devin Haney said it wasn't his best performance, but I'm sure he'll be at his best when we fight, right? He didn't sack him, but he could have. And he got in there, said he had to say, and he left. Let Lomachenko do his thing. But his whole point, I'm here. I want the fight. Now, Paulie, shut the fuck up. And everybody else who got something to say about me trying to duck this man when I was the one calling him Lomachenko, because when I was calling him out, he wouldn't respond. He didn't want to fight me. Facts. Facts. So, yeah. After he beats Lomachenko, he goes to 140. Yeah, you got Regis Prograis there. You got Teofimo's up there. All these other guys that's there. So you got plenty of good fights at 140. And as I said, him leaving to go to 140, well, whenever Shakur Stevenson decided to come to 135, now you have a similar fighter in Shakur and Haney at 135. And then what happens. Now, a question for you guys is this. The fact that Ryan Garcia and Tank is fighting at a catchweight, what happens after this? Does Ryan stay at 135 or does he go to 140? Because if he goes to 140 like he's saying he's going to do, well, 135 has Tank, Pitbull Cruz. You got Jojo Diaz. I mean, if Shakur comes up, that's another addition there. Rolly Romero's there. Rolly keeps running his mouth about 147. So here's another guy that's fight. Look how big he was to Tank Davis. But none of y'all was bringing his size up. Like as if it's an advantage, like, oh, he's trying to pick on a smaller guy. No. Look how big he is to Tank. So it's just the same shit all over again. I think that at some point, when people are doing these videos or when people are commentating at a fight live or whatever, you're always going to have bullshit. It's on purpose. I think that they tell them to say controversial shit. Say something that's going to stir people up, get people talking. Doesn't make a difference because the outcome is the outcome. But that score was bullshit. That was no unanimous win. That was a split decision win. And I'll say this also. For what Devin Haney has accomplished at 23 years old, for what Shakur Stevenson has accomplished, for all these things that they've done becoming undisputed and all this shit, it didn't take them to be 30 years old to fucking do it. They did what they did. So Gerard Ennis and all these guys that's coming up here trying to get these big fights, I salute them all, man, because boxing has just become a whole, if you're not being talked about in the public, we don't care how great you are. you will not get the shot that you deserve. So I want to see the best happen in boxing, you know, but again, I have a life. So this shit doesn't hurt me. It doesn't make me feel up or down. It's just certain fights I'm into, certain fights I'm not into. Anyway, salute those guys. Tell me what y'all think in the comment section. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.